This morning I woke up with it on my mind. Most people won't understand that, but for those who do, what was on my mind is that we have some of the most intelligent people on this earth, but we let fools trick us into thinking how they think. I'm going to run most of you away by saying this one thing, but this is to my brother, Kwame Ture. We won't be free until Africa is free. There are three basic goals sought by most people, as told by Mr. Neely. 1, survival by any means. 2, dominance or dominate others through deceit or direct violence, or including the threat of direct violence. Number 3, to establish peace. So the idea and the thing that I had on my mind is Jungle Love by Prince, but it's deeper than that. A return to jungle love. You see, that's what I want. Because we were told that the jungle was something to be embarrassed about from people who stayed in caves for so long that they turned almost into savages. In fact, exhibited savage type behavior. Still messing around with fire when we were sitting in classrooms in Timbuktu. But let me tell you something. I want us to reflect on how environment shapes the mind. You see, when human beings live in barren caves, when they fight bitter winters, when their only diet is meat ripped from flesh, something happens to the soul. Survival under such conditions creates a culture of fear, a culture of scarcity, a culture where violence becomes the law of life, where to live means to dominate, where to eat means to conquer. That is how savagery is born, not in the body, but in the mind, in the belief that power is survival, that domination is progress, that cruelty is necessary. A diet of blood creates a hunger for more blood. A barren environment produces barren values. Now contrast this with the lush green forests of Africa, the cradle of humanity, where life was different. The land provided fruits that hung from trees. Water flowed from rivers. Medicines grew from the soil. Shelter stretched overhead in the canopy. Humanity's first classrooms were not caves, but jungles alive with abundance. And in abundance, the mind does not learn greed. In abundance, survival is not conquest. In abundance, a society learns to value cooperation, to share, to live in harmony. That was the true birthplace of civilization, not stone walls, not iron weapons, not harsh laws, but values rooted in balance, in respect, in love. This is what the Europeans mocked and called jungle love. They used the term as an insult, a slur, but we reclaim it today with pride. Those of us who are awake or woke. Jungle love was not chaos. Jungle love was one love, a spiritual unity, a world without borders, without outsiders plundering the land, without people ripped from their families and sold like property. Jungle love was a society of advancement, not in machines of war, but in values of peace. So let's take a look at how that looks today. The savage mindset of domination never disappeared. It simply changed its clothing. Suits on garbage cans. The same hunger that once tore flesh now tears nations. The same instinct to dominate that once wielded clubs now wields armies, corporations, banks, colleges and universities, and much more. The place where you work is not what you think it is. It is a replica of a plantation. Today, greed is dressed as ambition. Conquest is called globalization. The insatiable hunger for blood is now an insatiable hunger for money. And the result is the same. The rollback of freedoms, the erosion of dignity, the dominance of one culture over another. Look around. Wars waged in the name of profit. Resources stripped from the earth until rivers run dry. Entire peoples silenced. Histories erased. Freedoms crushed. History taken out of museums because of the hate of one for another. The savage has not disappeared. He has evolved. His cave is now a skyscraper. His weapon is now a law. His conquest is now economy. Or shall I say economies. But we do not have to accept this as the future of humanity. We can return to the original vision. We can return to jungle love, not as a mockery, but as a mandate, not as a savage instinct, but as a spiritual truth. Jungle love reminds us survival need not mean domination. Progress need not mean conquest. Freedom need not be a privilege granted by the powerful, but a right rooted in our shared humanity. So let us choose abundance over scarcity. Let us choose peace over domination. Let us choose love, not jungle love as the colonizer mocked, but jungle love as our ancestors lived. One love, a love that crosses borders, that refuses conquest, that builds peace instead of war. For if we do not reclaim this love, we know what awaits us. A world divided by greed, a planet stripped bare, a people enslaved not by chains of iron, but by chains of money, fear, and false power. That is not survival. That is extinction. But if we return to jungle love, if we remember the garden we came from, the abundance we once knew, the spiritual bond that made us human, then we could survive, not as a savage, but as a family, one people, one planet, one love. So today, as most of us run from Africa, we run from ourselves and the truth. Instead of running to Africa, let us never forget the dominant race, and I'm sorry, culture, runs to Africa, while the ex-slaves want to stay where they were enslaved. What sense does that make? All the wealth is in Africa. Our people's over there. And if you want to be something other than what you are, more power to you.